Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a little video about the Flipper Zero Pogo pins, also known as the iButton keys connection. Some people call it that. So I would assume you're watching this video because your pins have either snapped off or they're broken or they're just like floating around in the case making your Flipper Zero rattle. Yeah, the chances are, guys, if your Flipper Zero is rattling, then that's probably what's wrong with it. Either it was dropped at some point or you just got unlucky or you snagged it on your pocket or something like that. These mistakes happen, right? So let me just show you what these pins are for, because I know a few of you guys probably don't know. They are in fact for these type of keys. They're like this little circle metal button type thing. I've never actually seen anything like this in real life. I don't know if this is something you might get like in Europe. Here in the UK, I don't see these around. It's normally just like standard fobs. But yes, it is a type of key, and you can see you can copy the data here. Obviously you can back them up onto a second key if you want to take a copy of it, or you can just emulate it straight off your flipper. So obviously it's just like another way to create a key backup for yourself in case you were to misplace your keys or lose them. You know, it's something you can definitely do. I doubt I will ever need to use one of these things, but still, I don't really like to have something broken on my Flipper Zero. That's why I'm going to fix my pins, because yeah, believe it or not, all three of my pins have come off. I don't quite know how. It didn't even occur to me that it was broken until I realized, oh wait, my flipper rattles and it probably shouldn't do that. And then I realized, yeah, all three of my pins have become disconnected. So these are the pins I'm talking about. You can see there is three right here. They're all different sizes actually, with the middle one being the largest. But yeah, if your pins become disconnected from this point here, because I believe unfortunately a lot of them come with a dry solder joint, so they just fall off like so easily, then yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys a very easy way to fix these and still have them working without having to do any soldering. And this is something I came up with myself, which is why I wanted to make a quick video about it. So this is what it looks like if one or maybe all of your pins are missing. It's just going to be a blank spot here. This guy did say he found his Pogo pin wasn't attached, but he still has the pin, so that's fine. If you guys still have the pins and they've just fallen off, then yeah, this is basically the guide for you. As you can see here in somebody else's post from 7 months ago, yep, this is quite a common problem. This guy thought it was some kind of antenna, but nope, they are the Pogo pins, which obviously I just showed you. Most of you probably won't need anyway, but still, it's nice to fix it. And so this guy in the comments was saying that's just the iButton pins, nothing to do with any kind of antenna, just put a case together. Mine is broken too and still kind of works. Now the reason why he's saying his kind of works is because they're rattling, but if you stop them from rattling, then well, you can just completely fix it basically. This is a very DIY way of fixing it, but basically what you need, guys, is some tape, preferably some kind of like plastic tape or electrical tape. That would be great. I wouldn't recommend using like parcel tape or masking tape. That might not really work too well, but yeah, this is how I fixed mine. Right guys, so let's go and fix this thing. So obviously here is my flipper, and the very first thing you want to do is you just want to scroll down. You want to go and find the settings, because yeah, you will want to turn your flipper off. So go on settings, just scroll down, go on power, and just go to power off, then just go on left. You're going to power off your device, and then yeah, I'd just recommend doing this. I mean, you can leave it turned on if you want to, but we will need to take it apart, so probably a good idea to turn it off anyway. So go and get your Phillips head screwdriver, take out all of the 4 screws. I've done this already just to save a bit of time for this video, but as you can see, yeah, don't lose them, they're very small. And then you want to get your tape ready. Now I ran out of tape, I couldn't find any, so I'm having to use a plaster for this video, which is going to be stupid, but yeah, I'll use that in a minute. So I'm just going to take this thing apart quickly. As you can see, that's where my pins are supposed to be soldered to, and obviously it was a dry solder, so they've all just fallen off randomly. I guess, guys, this is just a really common thing with Flipper Zeros. I've seen loads of people talking about this over like the past 3 years or so. So yeah, it's a shame, but whatever, I guess. At least we can fix it. And yes, as I was saying, you should use tape, electrical tape. I had to use a plaster, a waterproof clear see-through plaster, but to be fair, the tape on this was pretty good. So I've already done it on 2 of them. As you can see, they do not fall out, they don't rattle, they don't shake, and they still make contact with the board, which is, you know, what we want really. So obviously the middle one, which is fallen out, that's what I'm going to be fixing in today's video. Yes, the Pogo pins still Pogo, they've still got a spring in them, which again is what we want for the contact. So yeah, I'm just going to sit that down because the other 2 are fine. As I said, I did those earlier. So now let's go and do the final pin. Now this is a bit tricky, they're very small, kind of difficult to pick up, but still way easier than soldering. So you want to go and get your tape, or in my case, a flipping plaster, and I'm just going to go and cut a very thin shaving off of this thing, or I've already got one here off a bigger plaster, one that I didn't intend on using anyway. So yeah, you just want to be very careful. You just want to cut a very thin strip, which is just a few centimeters long. It's up to you how much tape you want to add really. I just did a little bit because I didn't want it to get like stuck in there. Yeah, the good thing of this is they're not like permanently stuck, like they're very firmly in there, but if you pull hard enough on like a pair of tweezers, you can just take them out again, which is fine. And so then obviously I'm just going to position my pin on this and we're going to stick it on. So I left the paper tab on there just so it'd be a bit easier when I actually remove it. So just peeling that off, you can see, yeah, it's going to look like that. I got a clear one. This tape is kind of like plasticky, which is perfect, honestly. I think maybe even using a plaster, if you've got one of these see-through plastic ones, might be even better than electrical tape, to be honest, because it won't get hot or anything like that. And so then you just want to roll it up, just well, don't do it too thick, otherwise it might get stuck when you try and put it back in the slots, but just something like that. That should be fine. I'm actually just going to trim the end off because otherwise it'd be a bit too much. And now it's time just to push it in, and if you've added enough tape, it should hold it in there nicely. And I'm guessing this is probably going to hold like, well, forever really. I can't really imagine that like falling out or anything, so just give it a firm push and it should be okay. If it's sticking out a little bit, should also be fine because the board will just push it in once it gets contact. And there you go, that is a DIY fix for broken Pogo pins. A bit of a random fix, but when you shake your flipper, they don't move about, they don't fall back out, they are firmly in there, which is exactly what we want. And it's not like they're glued in, so we can still take them out if we ever decide to actually solder them. So now we're just going to flip it around, we're just going to go and put it back on the flipper. As I said, they should now reach contact with the motherboard. Obviously if they're shaking about, then that's why they kept disconnecting, but if they're firmly in there, then yeah, the connection will be perfect. Just make sure all of the plastic clicks in and everything like that, and then you can go and get your Phillips head screwdriver and you can just put all your screws back in, and then guys, you should be good to go. Now you're good to hold right and the back arrow key just to go and power your flipper on, so just wait for it to start up. Then you can go to the menu, you can scroll down to the iButton option, and yeah, then you can read, you can add, you can emulate, whatever you want really. That's how you fix it. And yeah, quite a nice DIY fix really. Anybody could do this. And of course, no more rattling. That's what I'm most pleased about, to be honest. Now obviously the other method to fixing these is soldering. I did see this post from a couple of years ago from this guy, and he was saying that he soldered some, but when he soldered it, he turned his flipper back on, it started making weird noises, and then something started burning. So yeah, and apparently the iButton pins started to get really hot. Since I've done my DIY fix, nothing like that has happened to me, so that's kind of why I'm staying away from soldering. This guy's soldering job looks a little messy, but not that bad. And also you've got to remember, when you're trying to solder something this small, it's so easy to make a mistake, and one mistake on something like this and well, you've probably got to buy a new board, which I was looking into, and I couldn't find any of these replacement parts for sale. So yeah, I think this guy got, well, a bit unlucky. He kind of like ruined his whole flipper over this. So yeah, solder at your own risk. Maybe I wouldn't even try it. Now if you're like this unlucky person and just all of your pins are missing, I've got no idea what they did. Well, there is a complete alternative method to fixing this. Then yeah, I would recommend either making or buying something like this. This is a Flipper Zero iButton replacement. So if your Pogo pins are gone, maybe you opened up your case and they just all fell out and you couldn't find them. If you really want to still use them, I'd recommend buying something like this. This plugs into the top of your Flipper Zero in pins 17 and 18. And yeah, it's a replacement. I found this one on eBay, which is not too cheap, £34.66 for me from China, so you know, take a while to arrive anyway, but this is an alternative fix which is still pretty cool. That's the nice thing about the flipper. Even if you completely break something, you can still sort of bring that feature back, but just in a totally different way. So there you go, I just thought I'd make a quick video on this. That's how you fix your iButton pins without having to do any soldering, and yet it does work. As long as your pins aren't rattling about and you secure them in some kind of way and they still got a connection to the motherboard, then yeah, it's going to be fine. Like, it's still going to work right. So yeah, that's it for this video.